homestanding Flying Eagles. The shortstop, number 12, Braden Thomason. At center field, number 2, Bryce Bird. At second base, number 11, Rylan Rock. Taking the mound, number 23, Nick George. The DH tonight, number 28, John Dobbins. At first base, number 19, Xavier Carvelli. Taking third, number 20, Ashton Schaefer. At right field, number 21, Nathan Lotsky. In left, number 13, J.D. Ford. And at catching, number 16, Noah O'Neill. We ask at this time that everyone rise. Gentlemen, take off your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
All right, welcome to Staten Field, the nightcap. A long day of ball games here at Robert C. Byrd High School on Eagle Way. Eric posts. Shortly, I'll be joined by Heath Frazier, a couple RCB graduates here, calling the game.
2 Robert Joseph 389. 2 Robert Joseph 389. Your interior lights are on.
We have a car with lights on. There's a lot of excitement here on Staten Field tonight. Got Nick George on the mound here for the Eagles as Bluefield comes to town. Now I'm going to bring in the man of the hour, Heath Frazier.
Mr. Post, it's a pleasure to join you this evening.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Second game with Heath today. We got to watch a 11:45 game this morning together. He was on the PA and I was on the scoreboard.
It's an honor to be here. It was good to watch a team like Lindsley. It was a pleasure to have them here at Staten Field, and while our boys hung tight there for a few innings, just the talent showed out and won the day for Lindsley. So it's great for the teams. It's good for our boys, I think, as a measuring stick to go up against talent like that from time to time.
Absolutely. And your boy had a couple twirled a couple scoreless innings there to start the game.
He did.
For a freshman out there twirling it.
Great to see Coach Smith put his trust in a lot of the youngsters on our team here. We've got a great blend of veterans. Nick George, for one, who's towing the rubber tonight. But as I was saying, it's good to see quite a few of the younger players get their time out here on the field, gain some confidence, and be a contributing member of the team. This year, I think it's going to bode quite well, not just for this season, but for many years to come here.
Absolutely.
At Byrd.
This freshman group we're really excited about. I think they're going to be good make a good little run over the next few years.
First up the bat for Bluefield, number 12.
All right, so I have no rosters and I have nothing, so we're just going to call this game like it's, I guess, spring training.
Number 12 here, Caleb Fuller, And we don't have any material on these guys, but I can promise everyone that might be out there listening to the live stream tonight that look forward to the comedy hour that we do have in store. I was out there on the field while Coach was cutting the grass in between games and gathering some material for the color commentary from the players. So it was look forward to sharing that as each of the guys get up to bat tonight.
There's a ball slicing foul down the right field line. 1-1 count here. Nick George, one of the better players that's probably ever come through the school, to be honest. He's
multi-sport talent.
Absolutely.
Excited to see the things that he has in store as he goes on to bigger and better things in Fairmont next year.
He was a lot of help on the stream during basketball season. He's in Mr. Bodie's TV productions class, and he was a big help to me. Running cameras, running the stream, he did all kinds of stuff.
Missing the strike there on the inside corner.
All right, we got what do we got? 2-1 count here. Ground ball to short. Thomason. Throw's going to pull Carvelli off. So one aboard to start the game for the Beavers. I was talking with Rabbit in the softball game because we're short some announcers tonight. When I'm the game administrator too, so there's a chance I have to pop away every once in a while. But I was talking to him about Bluefield. When I coached girls basketball here, we went down and played Bluefield, and man, it's just pretty down there. Beautiful country.
Davis Rockness up to bat here for Bluefield.
Nick getting ahead with that first pitch strike, always a key.
You know, as you were saying there, the talent that Bluefield seems to put out year after year is astonishing. School, much like the size of Robert Byrd here, it seems that each year they have a machine that just churns out the talent. The Beavers are always near the top of the list of the best records in the AA state of West Virginia.
Yeah, nice try to frame job right there. But no, you're right, and they've got a lot of community support, and I think that makes a big difference. Gives them some stability when you know the community's behind you. Nick's trying to paint that corner.
Great turnout here tonight. Folks holding on, withstanding the bit of rain and lightning that we had earlier, waiting for this game to start. So really proud to see the contingent that we have.
It's been a great crowd all year. Really, the last couple years. It's been fun time to be an Eagle, I can tell you that. That run last year was a blast, all the way to the state tournament.
And that these boys are anxious to get back there again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, once you get that taste of it.
A lot of season left to go, though, Eric. A lot of season to go.
Boys hanging tough here. We got a 2-2 count, I believe. I'm also trying to be the production manager, too, so if I mess up a count, don't get too mad at me. This is a battle right here. Probably about the 6th or 7th pitch of this at bat.
You throw bias aside there, Eric. I think that as a pure baseball fan, this is something you love to watch.
Oh.
Struggle between the pitcher and the batter. Mm-hmm. We'll see who comes out on top here.
Fouling him off till he gets his pitch. That's what it's all about. I could not see. I assume that was foul.
It's another foul ball.
There is a pole right in front of me. So if there's anything to third base line, you're going to have to call it because I've got a wall here. The battle continues. I think it's the 9th pinch of this at bat. Nick's trying to find some way to put him away here. Oh, he does it with a fastball. Just blew it by him.
The old trusty from Nick George.
That's right.
When you can't get him with any of your breaking ball stuff, you come back with a heater to finish him off. That's got to feel good as a pitcher.
Give him a little bit of confidence.
11, Hunter Handman.
Fastball in on the hands. Sawed him off. First pitch strike. That's the key. Got to stay ahead of hitters. It's one thing about Nick. He's not afraid to attack anybody. He'll go right after a hitter. Another fastball swinging.
Got a little help there from the batter, but that wasn't too far off the plate either, Eric. Nick throwing all around the plate tonight. Looking really good to start the game.
Mm-hmm. It was the 2-hour preparation for it.
That or possibly the hill climb behind the third base side of the baseball field here. Those not familiar with the campus here at Robert C. Byrd, there's quite a cliff to the left field side of Staten Field here. And it's frequented by cross-country kids and students alike throughout the school year. And our boys were killing a bit of time there on the hill. And as I've been talking, Nick George struck out another batter.
3 pitches that time. He didn't wait around.
2 outs now, folks.
Strikeouts. Number 2, Bryson Redmond.
Oh, got a little organ music tonight. That's what I'm talking about. I think Nick's been ahead on every hitter so far.
That is key, as you said just a few moments ago. It's a pitcher anytime that you can start the game out, especially you're playing a team that you're unfamiliar with. It really just boils down to the fundamentals of the game. Baseball is one of those sports where a single player can control a lot of the game. That pitcher position really, as number 12 steals second base. No, to finish my point, though, anytime a pitcher can get out ahead in the count early in the game, it only bodes well for not only his confidence, but sets really the tempo for the rest of the game, I believe.
Absolutely. All right. That's the end of the first. Top of the first, at least.
4-3 retires the side there. Eric, and no runs on no hits. 1 runner left on base.
All right, heading bottom first. Let's see what the Eagles can do here on RCBSN. All right, back here at Staten Field. Braden Thomason about to lead off. A 5-sport athlete up here at Robert C. Byrd. Played soccer and football in the fall, basketball in the winter. Currently running track and playing baseball in the spring.
Thomason.
He's the first one I can think of that's going to letter in 5 sports. I think that puts him as one of the best athletes in Robert C. Byrd history. Here he is leading off. Umpire getting people back in dugouts where they're supposed to be, and we're about to get underway. Ooh.
Called strike on the outside there. You know, historically, Eric, Braden likes to take that first pitch. Really just to see what he's got to work against here.
Got a little first pitch curveball out of the gate. I like it. He's got a good inside-out swing. He can go the other way with power.
You
I watched him pull one out to left center earlier this batting practice yesterday.
Really, kid's got a great heart, too.
Oh, not going to find better than him. Looks like a little bit of drizzle coming down out there.
Let's see if Briz can get a hit against the Driz.
That is a perfect pitch. Out of the zone, you're not going to be able to handle it.
The delay before the game, Eric, everyone was kind of hanging out, spending some time together, camaraderie among the players, and
Now batting at number
caught a
2,
glimpse of
wearing
Braden
number 2,
tossing football with
Bryce
some of the younger
Bird.
kids from the community for a good 30 minutes. It's great to see these boys still have a, conscience and a heart to pay attention to others that are here to support them.
Absolutely. He's been a good example. I'll tell you what, this pitcher is painting that outside corner.
Bryce Bird up the bat now. Center fielder. I was chatting with his mom just before the game started and asking for some facts. Bryce is he's a lively character. He's one that leads the dugout in the chants, and he always has something to say about everything. So I asked his mom for a few fun facts about Bryce. One of those, and I'll share many of these throughout the rest of the game. One is, did you know the only meat that Bryce will eat is beef jerky?
Really? He won't eat a steak? Huh.
Beef jerky.
Beef jerky. Does that count Slim Jims? You think he's a Slim Jim guy?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
I think maybe we'll have to dig a little deeper on that.
We'll have to get our people on it.
Could be a new spot for WBOY tonight.
There's the beef jerky breakaway for Bryce Bird.
Let's see if he can snap into one here.
Hey, drill walk.
Bird draws ball 4.
Work the count. We'll get a bat.
Following the walk, number 11.
Bluefield's got to be tired. They were in a battle with Lincoln. I don't know how it ended up. It was 10-5, and they were back and forth. And
yeah, you got to wonder, Eric, if maybe not necessarily at the beginning of a match, there's a lot of adrenaline pumping through you, especially as a teenage boy. However, as this game wears on into the night, and we get closer to that 10, 11 o'clock hour, deeper into these innings, if fatigue will play a factor.
Well, I can assure you on my end it will. I've been here since 7 this morning, not 7 at night. I did go home and let my dog out. So I got a 15-minute break in between there.
The concession stand, I believe, is closed now. So any hope for caffeinated rejuvenation?
Hey, it got
probably
by
out
him.
the door.
We're going to have some baseball here. Bryce Bird coming around to score.
Someone get that kid a Slim Jim.
Woo! Ball still rolling around. People diving. Exciting stuff. WBOY's happy. They just got themselves a highlight. And we've got ourselves a run.
I tell you, Eric, as Nick steps up to the plate here,
Following that heck of a hit,
I
number
can't
23,
stress
Nick
how much,
George.
even though Nick's a consistent hitter, he had quite a few hits this week. Been able to watch him live throughout the week. Just the power that he puts behind the ball, but I can't tell you that he's due now for trademark Nick George slam.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to see one left center drive. Maybe hit the ticket booth. When he locks in, and he had a stretch last 2 or 3 weeks of the season last year where he was on fire.
Squeezes one there between the third baseman and the shortstop.
Get more highlights for WBOY as Nick George makes it a 2-0 game.
Almost on call.
After that gapper by Nick George, now up to bat the DH.
We got a courtesy runner here for
John
him.
Dobbins.
Excited for that RBI he had there.
Nothing like helping yourself, huh? RBI tastes better when you're on the mound.
And Corsini comes in as a courtesy runner there, Eric.
Oh, is that who that is?
You put a little more speed on the base here. Let's see if Dobbins can do some magic and move him forward for us. Breaking ball hangs high. So Johnny Dobbins, interesting take on this one. Had the pleasure of coaching him a few seasons in pony baseball. And it seems that as he's entered his high school years, the boys amongst the baseball team have a term of affection for him. They call him Roids. Don't believe it's due to any nefarious drug use. I think it's more the fact that of his sheer strength. Let's see if he can put any of that on display for us here
I'd
tonight.
like to see it. Well, he's going to get a meatball here. I'd say he'll probably have the red light, though, on 3-0 count. Carvelli on deck, looking in. All right. He's going to get a pitch he likes here. Oh, and we have a balk.
Balk call.
Balks are always fun because there's usually a little animation afterwards. Here it comes. Smart. I took a page out of my book. Anytime Coach asks questions, I always like to play music so you can't hear.
Beavers head coach coming out to question the balk or maybe gain some clarity from the field umpire. Eric, you have to often wonder sometimes, is this done to gain clarity or to give his team a breather for a moment and see if they might be able to shift some momentum back in their direction?
Not the worst idea. There's just something about balks that usually make managers lose their mind on every level. It's because it's so hard to define. Ball 4. Here we go.
Saw an awkward stare down there between the pitcher and the field umpire once more as he turned back to look at Anthony on second and paused momentarily. It seemed as though it took forever for that pitch to occur.
Yeah, there's different ways to protest, I guess, when you're playing ball.
Carvelli at the plate here, and one of our diaper dandies that we alluded to before the start of the game. Excited to watch these freshmen really show out.
Absolutely. For
the Eagles here. Just goes to show you age is not a factor if talent lies in the player.
That's right. That whole group has a great work ethic, too.
They had the luxury of playing together from the time they were in T-ball, and they've relied on the
Oh, he called that pause a balk. Oh, here we go.
Second.
He called another balk.
The drills are starting to gather a little stronger on the field here as the manager and field umpire discuss at a deeper level here.
Yeah. Having a philosophical debate on the raising of the left leg. Because he can pause and then go. So I don't know what he did to balk there. Do you?
I don't know either.
Well, the Eagles dugout's certainly giving it to him. I can hear him singing the Jeopardy theme.
Yeah, a team that's never at a loss for words, that's for sure. They don't need much fodder either.
Right. Well, they just like trivia, you know. If education's a priority here at Bird, and I'm sure they watch Jeopardy every night when they get the chance. I do, so. All right, so I missed a couple pitches there, so that's ball four.
We have bases loaded, Eric. Ashton Schaefer,
Calling the walk. Now up to
yet
bat,
another
20,
freshman
Ashton
coming to the plate.
Schaefer.
Schaefer's playing third base today, both games.
He played a good third base in that first game.
Schaefer also
Good ball
toes the
player.
rubber from time to time for the Eagles, and he's done a tremendous job holding down the position a few innings at a time.
There's a generous call.
As we grow deeper into the season, get closer to sectional and regional play, this experience these young guys are gaining on the mound is only going to bode well for the team.
That's right. Back-to-back curveballs there for jump ahead 0-2. Time to lock in, at least put something in play here. Ball high.
Let's hope that Schaefer can channel his inner Pedro Serrano here.
Yes.
And throw Joe Boo aside and hit the breaking
There it
ball.
is. That'll get a run in. Oh, man. That was almost a couple runs.
Center fielder loses his hat and leaps to make the grab.
Run scores.
Tremendous play by the outfielder.
Those are the hardest balls to judge. The line drives right at you.
Up to bat number 21, Nathan.
Rain's starting to come down a little more steady now. Nathan Lotsky to the plate. RCB might be looking to try to break this game open here. If we can get another ball in the gap.
Another breaking ball there. Eric Paint, the inside corner. Pushes Lotsky out of the box, only to rest straight over the plate. I can tell you that very early in this game, I'm really impressed by this pitcher.
He is. He's got good command of that curveball.
Even though he's given up 3 runs here, he seems to be well poised on the mound. And just like that, he makes a liar out of me.
Right on cue.
Just a bit outside, and that pass ball advances the runners. Let's see if Nathan can do something with it here.
Yeah, looking at the weather, we might be all right.
Drop third strike, and Lotsky's tagged out to end the inning.
All right, 3 runs. That's a good start.
At the top of the second, the score
All right, heading in the top of the second here at Staten Field. Looks like we're having a brief meeting in front of the stands. Not quite sure. Oh, going over balking again. I don't know if I can move the camera and you can see the discussion. I think I can. Got a philosophical debate that continues. My counterpart, Heath Frazier, is doing double duty. He's watching a couple kids and jumping back and forth for the game. Oh, Nick George, first pitch is going to hit the batter. Not ideal. And we're going to say goodbye to WLY. Thanks for coming. They're heading out. They got a couple games already filmed, and they wanted some excitement in the first inning, and they got it. So they got their ads, and they're heading out. Hope this is not hers, though. Does anybody know whose this is?
Not too bad. Number 13, Garrett Hicks.
There's a blanket in the press box if anybody's curious what I was talking about, and we don't know whose it is. Nick George from the stretch. First pitch, high and in. Strike one there, 1-1 count now. Nick George bringing the heat. Just a slight drizzle continues here on Staten Field. And that's I don't know if that was a foul ball or not. I guess it was not a foul ball. I'm not sure what's happening here.
It's confusion on the field here, Eric. It appears that Coach Smith's confused quite a bit as well. He's calling for time on the field. He's going to address the home plate umpire and ask him what actually occurred there.
That was a strike, right? Yeah. What was he saying there? Could you tell? We're going to get a breakdown from
live ball.
Player. Yeah, that's a live ball.
It was called a strike. Live ball dropped by the catcher.
Right. So the runner could have advanced if he chose. Because he thought it was a foul ball. I'm guessing he did not go. Anyway, 2-2 count now. Nick George peering in. We've had a little bit of excitement already.
No curiosity here, knowing Nick, but most pitchers, when they hit a batter, you'll tend to find them slow down their pitch speed just a bit to lock in and get closer to that plate. Nick, on the other hand, seems to throw that much harder.
Yeah, that's not going to slow him down.
It was a combination of frustration and determination.
Nick, he's committed to play at Fairmont State, I believe, if I remember correctly, in a nice signing day at Bird one night. Ball low, apparently. 1-0.
Speaking of frustration, visible on the face of Nick George not getting that strike call.
He will always let you know how he feels.
Breezes one by the batter there.
His uncle, Chris George, was my favorite college player of all time when I was a kid at Glenville State.
Fun fact, he broke Jerry Rice's receiving records.
I was there when he did it.
Also in attendance that day was famous former West Virginia University quarterback and former Glenville State quarterback for one season, Jake Kelchner.
Jake the Snake. Jed Drenning, I have his helmet from when he was at Glenville State as a record-setting quarterback. Matter of fact, I messaged him on Facebook a couple years ago and was like, hey, I still have this thing. Do you want it? It's your old helmet from college. And he messaged me back, sure. And then he messaged me back, no, thanks, I already have one. So apparently he had been given his helmet already.
Well, Eric, if you ever decide to extend the offer once more to Jed, I'd be glad to broker that deal between the two of you. Jed and I stay in regular touch with one another.
Not too bad. Number 10,
Well, I tried to do the right thing.
And in the midst of our jovial conversation there, Nick struck out yet another batter.
And I think we just got another subscriber on RCBSN because I had to show someone where the stream is. So that worked out perfect. Is that a ball or strike? I missed it. No one on the press box knows. I'm going to guess ball.
It's take your son to work night here at RCB. My oldest and freshman son, Landon, doing the PA announcing for us, helming the duties for the team.
Well, he begged me to do it when I got up here. I walked up to get ready for the game, and he looked at me and said, "Can I do this? I'm going to ask Coach. I want to do this."
I really appreciate the trust you've put in him. I don't know if it's ill-advised, but only time will tell.
Well, I told him no. But I said, no, we got a guy. But then ended up he's still here, so it worked out.
Persistence prevails.
It did.
That is a virtue.
Persistence and a 2-hour later start played a big role, I think.
The survival of the fittest, maybe. It's a better phrase to turn.
All right, so we got 2 outs, runner on second, 3-1 count. Nick George peers in. Strike on the corner. We got a full count now.
Joined in the press box tonight by Rab Snyder.
He just did 2 softball games down over at across the street. Oh, ball high.
Beavers batter nonchalantly tosses his bat towards the Robert C. Byrd dugout, and hastily Coach Smith returns the bat to the bat boy for the Beavers.
Did you forget what dugout he was in?
Apparently so.
Number 22, DJ.
It has been a long day,
It has
though,
been
Eric.
long, yes. They started that game at 4:30. Well, they were scheduled to start it at 4:30 out at Bridgeport against Lincoln, so they didn't get here until after 9 o'clock.
Third pitch in a row from Nick on the outside corner, failing to draw a strike call from the umpire. That time he gains a little help from the batter to even the count.
Also joined in the box by Dougie Layfield, longtime Bird fan. He's got a road named after him up here on campus.
I was about to say, it's got to be quite an honor to stand in the press box here at Staten Field and peer out into the distance and see the street
strike 3.
that bears your likeness.
Nick firing it in, getting out of the jam. Back at it at the bottom of the second here. J.D. Ford leading it off.
And J.D. bringing back the knickers and stirrups. Classic look for baseball players, and he wears it well.
Ground ball to short, going to be a tough play. A little bit of a bobble. Ford beats it out.
Just goes to show you, Eric, never stop running. You don't know what can happen.
That's right.
Just like that, we're back to the top of the order.
Oh, Thomason back at it.
Now, back at the top. Number 12, Braden Thomason.
I'll be honest with you. I'm curious to see how this box situation is going to work out. We've had 3 discussions about it, and now there's a runner on base. So we had fireworks the other night after military night. We may have some here.
You can rest assured that the manager for the Beavers, as well as the pitcher, have drawn the ire of the field umpire. So he will be keeping a close eye on those legs.
He's opened up with that first pitch curveball over and over again.
Number 12 acting as quarterback on the field, barking orders to his teammates, speaking out a situation. I'm sure that they have something in mind here.
I was waiting for it. He looked for it. He was looking back for the balk call.
And J.D. has successfully angered his mother, Julie Ford, tonight by sliding headfirst back into first base and dirtying his laundry.
Luckily, I don't play tomorrow, so she gets a little bit of a reprieve.
No, but the Eagles do run the gauntlet this week, and in between innings here, we'll give everyone an update on the schedule, knowing when they can tune in to watch their favorite baseball team.
That's right. We're at Fairmont Senior on Monday, if I remember correctly. And Tuesday, we're at home. And that's all the further I looked. I usually just look a couple days in advance.
Well, I'm sure you're waiting with bated breath, as everyone else on the live stream is. And I promise I will give that update in between the innings.
It's the great thing about baseball. You basically start playing every day, especially towards the end. Braden Thomason push bunt. Ball pop. Still got him. Nice play by the pitcher. Kept his composure there.
But I believe that Braden achieved his first goal in the at-bat, and that's moving the runner forward to second.
By Braden Thomason. Now to bat, number 2.
So you got one out, runner in scoring position. Got the heart of your order coming up. Try to scratch another run up here early.
And we've now stepped into a second edition of Tall Tales of Bryce Bird. Bryce now at the plate. Earlier this season, a visiting game in Lewis County, Bryce shared a fun fact with everyone in attendance, informing us that possum starts with an O.
Oh, did he just now find that out? Oh, we got something there. JD, get in. Whew. Close call now.
That was a very peculiar delivery back to the second base and attempting that pickoff there.
It was an odd. The umpire, maybe he was talking to the second baseman. I couldn't quite tell what was going on back there. It's kind of hard to see on the stream.
Does have a close eye on the pitcher's legs there. Eagles fans shouting, asking for another balk call.
Yeah. If they shout too much, I might have to walk down there. Ball gets by the catcher. Now we got a runner at third and one out.
The stirrups scattered from second to third.
That's my favorite look. I love the stirrup look. I wish they all went back to wearing them like that. El Duque, my guy. Bird with a squeeze, gets off
and
the
it
pitcher.
Pays off
Absolutely.
for the Eagles there.
And he's running a second because nobody's covering. How heads up? Oh, now he's going to third. Now we'll see where the ball ends up. Balls are bouncing around. Bryce Bird scored and running around. And it's a 4-0 lead for the Eagles.
Heads-up play by Bryce Bird, worthy of yet another Slim Jim. He is racking them up tonight, Eric.
Somebody get down to that gas station and get that guy a Slim Jim because he's earned it.
After that one heck of a bunt by Bryce Bird. Now to that number 11, Rylan
It
Rock.
was a heck of a bunt. RPA got spot on. Oh, Ryland Rock mashed one last at bat. Let's see if he can get into another one.
Ryland, another fan favorite among the little kids.
Oh, ball gets by. You know Bryce isn't going to be afraid going in.
Head first slide,
Yeah.
and he's safe at home.
And you know that jersey's always going to be dirty. 5-0 lead for the Eagles.
Now that the mouth in charge of the dugout is back in the dugout, and rest assured we are going to hear quite a bit of noise from those fellas the rest of this inning.
Ryland Rock, perfect example. As a freshman, got a ton of playing time, which helped his growth and development very quickly.
Ryland's been solid in quite a few outings on the mound for the Eagles.
And I was just about to get to that. Coach Tanner Hill, who has since moved on to the north, up in Michigan, teaching now, did a great job with Ryland, bringing him in, put him in low leverage spots as a freshman, got him good time on the mound and prepared. And fruits of that labor is here.
Rock chases a high one that time. He wanted it badly, Eric.
Number 23.
They always look good.
George.
Nick George, he's had the same walk-up song. I was at the game when Chris George caught 25 passes, by the way, against West Virginia Wesleyan, and they got beat. And he returned a punt for a touchdown, and they called it back. And I'm
I
still
believe
mad
I
about
was
it.
at that game as well.
Were you really?
I was.
I bet my Uncle Rich is still mad about it. Is that going to get out? Yes. All right.
Hilarious story to share, incidentally, is that foul ball landed in the grass territory there between the home grandstand and Eagle Way. Last night, during an Eagles baseball match with Preston County, senior Dior Cooper's younger brother was resting in the grassy knoll and hit by an errant foul ball. And surprisingly, Eric, he was left unfaded and continued to scroll on his social media.
Well, when you're locked into TikTok, what are you going to do? Was I here? Yes, that was last night. We had a game last night. I was here for a while. Nick George takes ball 4.
On base percentage 1,000 this game.
Yeah, he's already picked up an RBI.
Already calling for his courtesy runner, like Babe Ruth in the day.
Oh, yeah.
John Dobbins.
Does the work to take 90 feet, and he'll ask Anthony Corsini once more to do the remaining 270 for him.
Corsini's up for it. Still coming back from injury. Corsini, he'll be a big help here soon, I think. Runner on first, 2 down. Eagles bench begging for a balk call, as they should be.
It's a combination of the request for the balk from the umpire and razzing on Anthony as he continues to slide headfirst back into the base and eat mounds of dirt that have been stirred up by continual dragging of the field today. As the Staten Field has seen 4 games. But I have to tell you, it's in tremendous shape. Been very blessed with minimal rain early this baseball season.
This has been like the mildest spring I can remember.
I don't want to jinx us, but it looks like we're going to be able to get the majority of our scheduled games in this season.
We had a season, I mean, it's been years. Coach Nutter was the head coach, where we played 12 games total because it rained. It rained every day. It was insane.
And to that I will say, okay.
As would he.
Sweet chin music coming in.
Yeah, ask
John
him. I've
Dobbins.
never asked him to be on the stream. I'd like to hear his baseball
Yeah,
insight.
great guest
He would
appearance.
be. To remember that on Monday.
I'll up the ante one, and I wonder if it'd be good to pair him with
Nasty
Basil
curveball.
Lucas.
Nasty curveball right there in the inning.
Dobbin strikes out there, and we'll go into the third. 5-0 Eagles. Be back after this with an update on the schedule for next week.
All righty.
Back here at top of the third inning, we have a pitcher against pitcher duel. It's Nick George facing off against Fuller.
Oh,
Just a bit inside.
just a hair. Looked like a little misstep on the mound. Lost a release point for a second.
I'm always fascinated by pitchers as they begin their shift on the mound, the way they work around the rubber and try to gain a feel for it with their feet. And Nick is no exception to the rule. Watched him in between innings as he dug in and got his feet ready. And
There's a strike. Good answer back there. You don't want to put base runners on, that's for sure. Not with a 5-0 lead.
you know, games like this, when you're playing a talented team like Bluefield, there's really no room for mistakes. Got to play a really tight game.
Here's ball 4. Leadoff walk for the Beavers.
Not bad for Bluefield. Number 4, David Rockness.
As promised, here's the upcoming schedule for the Flying Eagles. On April 17th, we are scheduled to play Fairmont Senior with JV following that game. On the 18th, we face Cameron, and that game's scheduled, as I'm reading it, at Liberty High School.
It
It's
is
a 1
not.
1
That's
p.m.
wrong.
start.
I thought I deleted
I stand
that part.
corrected.
It is here.
The game will be played here at Staten Field. It does start at 1 p.m.
No, 5.
5 p.m. So sorry, folks. I am reading this live to you and being corrected.
I'm the one that put it on there, though, so I definitely need to go back and fix that. Sometimes the way that postponed stuff, it doesn't, go through. It's a whole thing.
I'll carry on then and hope that I am correct in the rest of this. On the 19th, we face South Harrison at South Harrison at 5 p.m., followed by a game on the 20th against Bridgeport with JV. That is staff night, so any RCB staff members who are listening to this live stream and watching us tonight, be sure to attend, as we will honor all of our RCB high school staff members that evening, April 20th.
I also need to remember to push that out because they asked me to try to get a number today of staff that's coming. So hopefully this will be my reminder to do that Monday.
Flying Eagles will close out the week 21st against East Fairmont and the 22nd against Kaiser.
Sounds like a play every day next week.
It's what you look to do in North Central West Virginia this time of year. Schedule as many games as you can. With inclement weather, you never know how many you're going to miss, as we referred to that during the last inning. Well, Eric, looks like that George has got himself in a bit of a conundrum here. Walking the first two batters. Let's see if he can regain his poise and control here. That has been a hallmark of his career at RCB, and get himself out of a jam.
Not exactly the ideal start to the inning, but Nick's always found a way to work his way out of problems, so we'll see if he can get started on it. And that's a good way to do it. Start painting that outside corner again. Strike two. Got him chasing off the mound. That looked like a breaking ball. I couldn't quite.
Looked like a slider or two-seam there. It did break at the end. Had the batter chasing it out across the plate.
Another one.
And he followed it with the same to strike him out there.
I think that is a two-seamer. That's what it looks like.
Great answer there, Eric, for Nick after walking the first two batters.
Brief time for throw some baseballs out there.
Want to thank our organist tonight, Dan Frum.
Rabbit, I'm thinking bunt down third base line. I don't know about you.
Didn't know that Dan was such a tickler of the Ivories, but he's proving himself quite valuable to the program tonight.
If I could find an organ player, I would have a live organ up here. There's a plug-in in the back where that could actually possible with a electronic organ.
Clarksburg, Eric, is known to have quite a few churches per capita. I guarantee there's a lady or two.
Got a hit batsman here.
Home plate umpire is barking orders, ensuring the Bluefield Beaver base runners know where they need to be.
Checking on the runner. I think it just grazed him.
Number 7, Landon Crane.
Second hits batter for Nick. I have to call Phil Wyatt. Phil Wyatt play the organ?
Renee May.
Renee might, yeah. She was my elementary school band or music teacher at West Milford Elementary.
I'm sure that he may not play the organ, but Steve Pishner could definitely play a synthesized organ.
Oh, well, we could have an Amici night. Between innings, we could all scream. It'd be great. Now, that would be fun. I saw him jogging downtown yesterday. Nick answering back here, 1-1 count. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Been quite fortunate throughout the course of the day today as rain teased itself, and it's subsided once more. It seems that every year, as long as I can remember, Eric, when we've reached this point in the season, the McDonald's Classic here in North Central West Virginia, we've faced rain. Many cases, a complete rain out, and we've been very blessed with tremendous weather here today for day one of the McDonald's Classic.
I can never remember a sunny day on a McDonald's Classic, so definitely counting our blessings from this one. Nick okay out there?
Short huddle at the mound, and Coach Smith returns to the dugout. Not sure if that was a check on his health. or just a opportunity to slow the game down for a moment, catch their breath, and focus in and get this last batter out.
Boy, this boy's real choked up.
Nice attempt to paint the corner there. Great squeeze by O'Neill behind the plate, but it did not catch the attention of the umpire enough to gain a strike call.
Come on, Nick. He's taking his time here. I don't blame him. This is a huge at bat. Bases loaded, 2 outs. There's ball 3.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier in the game and quite a few times throughout, the excitement around some of these youngsters on the team here that have really blossomed the first few games of the season and shown their worth to this team. You gain excitement watching that, looking forward to the future, but at the same time, you want to stop and slow down, smell the roses, and really cherish the time that we've got with players like Nick, Braden, Bryce, Nathan, and Dior.
There's ball 4. That'll force a run in.
Up to bat, number 6, Anthony Buzza.
Flying Eagles looking for one more out.
Ball 1.
Wind starting to pick up out in center field, watching the American flag tatter in the wind.
All right, this is going to be a big pitch here. 2-0 count, bases loaded, 2 outs. Nick's got to battle back here. He's having a little bit of control issues this inning. Ooh, must be high.
Close miss there. So there's a lot of things that go through the mind and the heart of a baseball player when they're out on the field. And we talked about this during the first game today against Lindsley. There's not much more, though, Eric, that's demoralizing to a pitcher than when they know they've thrown a great ball across the plate and they just don't get that strike call from the umpire. And as I say that, Nick's drawn 2 strike calls in a row here.
Beautiful
gaining
pitches.
some momentum.
Our runners will be on the move here. Nothing more exciting than a full count pitch with bases loaded. And he got him. Nick is pumped.
As is the contingent in the crowd. Going into the bottom of the third, it's Flying Eagles 5. Beavers of Bluefield 1.
All right, we're back. Bottom of 3, Robertson Bird up 5-1. Carvelli leading off.
Now, I don't think I've ever heard a DJ go from Queen into Outcast. There's a first for everything, though, in life.
Boy, when Outcast came out, they were like,
Now you're starting to date us there, Eric.
I know, man. All right, now we got a dugout warning.
Quick correction from the umpire.
All right, well, I'm going to go walk down. I'm going to turn this over to you for a little while, and I'm going to go stand by the dugout.
All right, folks, AD Post having to step away from his duties this evening, so I'll be on the Lone Ranger status here for a few minutes. Seems like the call for a cooler head. Full count against Carvelli here. Fights off that payoff pitch. A fly ball falling foul just beyond third base. He'll live to take another pitch here. Chatter starting to build up amongst the Flying Eagles fan base. Pitcher asks for a fresh ball as the last one gained some moisture, falling foul from Carvelli's bat. Another foul tip by Carvelli. Now the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Good to see a batter take a pitcher. It's deep into his pitch count here. Carvelli drops one in there. Great at bat for number 19, the freshman right fielder, as he sneaks back into first base, turning inside out of habit. And Beavers trying to catch him off guard and gaining out there quickly. It appears, though, some rabble-rousers amongst the Bluefield Beavers team. They've left the dugout, and the coaching staff is having words with the umpire. We'll take a break here for a moment, folks. Brief pause in the action there, folks, but we are back at it here. Carvelli on first. Schaefer at the plate. Bat takes ball one high. Time called by the catcher. Go calm his pitcher down and see if he can regain composure. Ball 2 drawn by Schaefer. Carvelli with a tight lead off there at first, playing it safe. 5-1 lead here in the bottom of the third. Umpire asking for calm. Eagles fans only getting louder after that request from the home plate umpire. Schaefer takes ball 3, ducking to get out of the way as it's thrown way inside. Fan base and Eagles players much louder, and now the manager for the Bluefield Beavers has come out upon the field to address his pitcher. We'll take a timeout here at Staten Field. Well, the meeting of the minds has ended at the mound, and time called by home plate umpire, allowing Coach Smith to cross back over his third base coach position. Schaefer steps in, 3-0 count. Taking that fourth pitch, called strike, the outside corner. Now 3-1. Carvelli getting a little more brave at first base with his leadoff. Ball 4, no call by the umpire, and Schaefer takes first, moving Carvelli to second, bringing Nathan Lotsky to the plate.
Following the walk, number 21, Nathan Lotsky.
Attempted pickoff at second, sees a ball go past into the outfield, but Carvelli, diving back into the base, was unable to get up in time to take third. Remains at second. Lotsky squares to bunt and pulls back with a inside pitch for ball 1. Curveball dropping in for strike 1. Lotsky steps out of the box, taking a moment to read the play call from the coach. Regains his composure, squares the bunt once more, lays down a picture-perfect bunt up the third base path, and now Carvelli caught in a pickle here at home plate, and they miss him. He is safe at home. All runners safe on base. Lotsky with a tremendous bunt up the third base path. Carvelli rounds third, taking advantage of an unsuspecting baseman. Gets himself in a pickle and scores safely at home as he misses the tag at home plate, not running out of the base path. Now there's a bit of a question from the Bluefield bench, who have all removed themselves from the dugout, arguing with the umpires. Now there's a consultation between the home plate umpire and the field umpire, checking to see if they're on the same page with that call. And as it stands right now, folks, we are at 6-1. Carvelli plating there on that play. Schaefer advancing to second. Lotsky safe on first. Again, I can't stress how perfect that bunt was that Lotsky laid down the base path there. No change in the call. Play stands. Carvelli scores.
Now up to bat following the bunt by Lotsky, number 13, J.D. Ford.
J.D. Ford at the plate. Hoping to keep this momentum going. Time called by home plate umpire to get himself reset. Ford steps out of the box, promptly back in, itching to get a hit here. Ford squares the bunt, ducks to miss a curveball that comes in, resting over the plate, called strike one. It's a conference here in the press box as play continues on the field. Discussion amongst the staff members here on whether the pitcher should be called for balk, and we've received clarity from longtime coach and local legend Rab Snyder that indeed he did turn correctly to address the base runner at second. Thank you, Rabbit Snyder, for that clarity. Ball way inside there, bringing the count to 1-2 against J.D. Ford. Count now even at 2-2. Foul ball called against J.D. Ford, and ball caught by the catcher. Home plate umpire consulting with the field umpire, who has called the batter out on foul ball, tipped third strike, caught. Coach Smith approached home plate momentarily to ask for clarity from home plate umpire. Seemed confused, but I believe he has relented as he's returned to his position up the base path. Now have one out, runners still on first and second. Braden Thomason back to the plate, hoping to continue the momentum that we've built the bottom half of this inning. Thomason watches a passed ball, addressing his teammates to move forward and commanding them to stay up as they were safely nestled at second and third base. Now facing a 3-0 count, Thomason can't help but believe he has a green light here to hit the ball if he wants to. Watches ball four go by, past, wild ball. Ashton Schaefer slides safely into home, head first. Thomason rounding first base, but returning back to the bag to have a discussion shortly with assistant coach Harrison Musgrave. Watchke, meantime, advanced to third base on the pass ball. This is bringing Bryce Bird up to bat once more this evening. Another fun fact about Bryce Bird, for 18 plus years he's been trying to define what an apricot is to no avail. Braden Thomason quickly steals second base and rounds during the same play as Bryce Bird watches ball one sail outside across the plate. Runners now at second and third here with one out. Every time Bryce Bird scores this evening, he earns himself a Slim Jim, sponsored by his dad, Aaron Bird. Bird hit by a pitch in the back, shakes it off as he skips up to first base.
Not too bad. Number 11.
Now with the bases loaded,
Rylan Rock.
number 11, Rylan Rock, stepping to the plate, hoping to do some damage against the Beavers in the bottom half of the third inning here.
Got you. My bad, Blue.
Rock takes the first pitch and hits it skyrocket into center field. It appeared as though the center fielder lost it momentarily, but he regained his composure and was able to squeeze the ball for the third and final out of the inning. So after the bottom half of that third, multiple hits, 2 runs plated, 3 runners unfortunately left on base. Flying Eagles 7, Bluefield Beavers 1. We'll be right back on the RCB Sports Network. We're back, folks, and pardon the humor in my voice, but we were having a brief discussion here in the press box, kind of in turn with one going on down at the field as Coach Smith addressed the umpires, believing there to be only 2 outs, and it seems that we have the same conclusion. J.D. Ford striking out at home plate on the foul tip. And the inning ending on a second out as opposed to a third out. However, in conference, the umpires decided that there were 3 outs that inning, contrary to the bookkeeper's notes and our recollection of the inning as it transpired here from the press box. However, we relent, folks, and we move in to the top half of the next inning. Nick George still towing the mound for the Flying Eagles deep into the night here as we approach the 11 o'clock hour. As he continues to warm up, folks, I'm going to step aside for yet another moment. We'll be right back here on the RCB Sports Network.
Stops back to Bluefield, number 10, Cameron Gone.
Stepping in the top half of the fourth here for the Beavers is Dodd. George steps back, take a moment, reminding himself to get out of the stretch and go back into the windup. Strike called inside corner, another heater from Nick George. Impressive to be this deep into the game. Many hours in between first match of the day and this one. George tries to paint the second strike on the outside corner, but does not draw the call from the umpire. Strike 2 swinging. Strike 3 from Nick George. 4 pitches, 3 strikes as the Eagles gracefully go around the horn to return the ball back to their pitcher. Nick is barking orders at his catcher, O'Neill, asking him to adjust his position. Can't help but think that Nick has something in mind here for a handful of pitches for this next batter. Batter squares to bunt, draws back, but receives the first strike called right across the plate. George really dialed in here now in the top half of this inning, throwing his 5th strike. Strike 3 called right down the middle as O'Neill sails the ball over Ashton Schaefer's head in an attempt to go around the horn once more. Nonetheless, Nick George impressive in his 4th frame here of this game, throwing 6 strikes in 7 pitches, striking out 2 batters. As he faces the 3rd batter of the inning, see if he can continue his tremendous display of pitching. Beavers receive their first base runner of the inning with a single. Rylan Rock dives, attempting to make a play on the ball, just out of his reach, sails into right field. Nathan Lotsky scoops it up promptly and returns it to the infield, holding the runner at first base. Request for courtesy runner possibly, however, he decided that they were not doing so. First pitch swing again. Braden Thomaston scoops it promptly, returns it to first base. Xavier Carvelli with the stretch and the squeeze to end the inning. 4 batters up, 3 batters down. 1 hit, no runs, 1 runner left on base. Score stands RCB 7. Bluefield Beavers 1. We'll be right back here on the RCB Sports Network. Entering the bottom half, the 4th inning here. Number 12 still pitching for the Bluefield Beavers. Both starters still on the mound more than halfway through this game. It's impressive for a high school outing, especially this late into the evening. As I said, we're almost at the 11 o'clock hour. Quick top half of the inning there. George did quick work with the Beavers batters. And he will be the first one stepping to the plate for the Flying Eagles for the bottom half of the frame. Coach Smith triple knotting his shoes up the first base path. as he pauses for a moment before he makes his turn up the base path, stops to address John Dobbins, give him a few words of encouragement. Then he circles around home plate, smiles at the press box. George steps to the plate, hoping to help his own cause here tonight once more. 2 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 walk. Takes a first pitch off speed, turning over the plate for a called strike. George belts one into left field. Right past the left fielder, ball bounces into the Thrasher Engineering sponsored sign. Scooped up by the left fielder, and it's dropped momentarily by the shortstop, who slowly cradles it, walks it back in to the infield, and tosses it slightly to his pitcher. However, play is dead on the field as George's requested a courtesy runner. Anthony Corsini once again stepping out at second, take over running duties for the pitcher. Stepping to the plate to continue the inning, John Dobbins. Joined here in the press box late at night by my 2 other sons, future Flying Eagles, avid sports fans. They've attended every home game and numerous visiting games this season in support of their brother Landon as well as the rest of the Flying Eagles. I'm Rhett Frazier, 3rd grader, Norwood Elementary School, and Ford Frazier, 1st grader at Norwood Elementary School. I've got Ford on the headset right now. Ford, if I might for a second, what would you say is your favorite thing about coming to these baseball games here at RCB?
Watching them.
Who's your favorite player other than your brother on the team?
Bo.
Ford referring to Bo Hype, who he's watched for many years play alongside Landon in Pony League, and now they've come up together through the ranks and into RCB uniforms. Going to have Rhett Frazier throw the headset on here momentarily. I have a question for Rhett. Rhett, if you don't mind, you're a frequenter of the concession stands here at Robert C. Byrd High School.
Uh-huh.
If you care to tell us, what are your favorite items, top 3 items in the concession stand at Staten Field?
Me? Okay. Probably a pickle, like hot dog. Probably like Skittles, too.
Do you like the purple Skittles or the red?
Purple.
Now, if there's anything you could recommend to the parents and staff to purchase to sell in the concession stand, what would your favorite wish list item be?
Like whole thing or probably pizza or something.
Stopping the action conversation here between me and Rhett to let everyone know that strike called on John Dobbins. He's retired to sit, bringing Xavier Carvelli to the plate. The lefty stepping in once more with Anthony Corsini having advanced to 3rd base during our conversation. He's testing the pitcher to see if he can gain a call to draw him back to 3rd base or force him into a pickle. Speaking of pickles, you did mention, Rhett, that was one of your favorite items in the concession stand.
Uh-huh.
What is it about the pickles that you enjoy so much?
Like this. So it mostly like the juice in the pickle
I'd say I'd have to agree with you on that one. As Rhett was describing his favorite concession stand item, excitement happened on the field. Carvelli, infield hit, fielder's choice, overthrowing the first baseman, advancing Carvelli to second. In the meantime, scoring Corsini at the plate. Eagles extending their lead now to 8-1. Ford Frazier back on the headset. Ford and Red opening their soccer season this spring in Netterfort tomorrow at 8 a.m. Their team named the Thunderbirds. Another Thunderbolts. I stand corrected. I was about to use that as a segue, but folks, I'm at a loss for words now as I used the wrong name to describe their soccer team. Looking forward to a great season there. Ford, one last question for you before we step back into play-by-play call here. If you have the opportunity to play high school baseball here at Robert C. Byrd, what is the position you hope to play?
Second base.
Second base. Good choice. Fellas, I really appreciate you being here tonight. Not that you didn't have a choice being with your dad.
And
but
I didn't want my name to be the lightning bolt.
errant pass ball during our conversation there, scoring our second runner of the inning. Scoreboard now reads 9-1, Flying Eagles with a commanding lead. Ashton Schaefer at the plate, 3-0 count. 1 out in the inning. Ball 4 skips across the plate after a few hops. Catcher races back to the backstop, I don't think realizing no one was remaining on base. Schaefer on first. Lotsky back to the plate. Really love to see this kid break one open here. Enthusiasm continues to permeate from the homestanding dugout, which I believe is the reason why A.D. Post remains in his position supervising the players. All in good fun. Another wild pitch. Advances Schaefer to second base. Lotsky swings and misses. Strike 2. Nathan takes a couple cuts, steps back into the plate, and fouls one off over our heads here at the press box. Coach calling for someone to get on it. Have quite a few young Eagles fans here tonight that I'm sure have snatched that ball up in the meantime. That foul ball tonight, as well as this second one, sponsored by North Central West Virginia Airport. Pitcher draws Schaefer back to second base. 0-2 count on Lotsky. Lotsky fouls another one off, this time up the third base path and almost into the tube, housing the tarp that covers the field during inclement weather. Wind has seemed to die down. However, steady drizzle persists outside the confines of this press box. Lotsky swings at a high pitch for strike 3.
Up to bat number 13, J.D. Ford.
J.D. Ford coming back to the plate once more this evening. Time called by the manager for the Bluefield Beavers. Asking for time. He receives it from the home plate umpire. Conference at the pitcher's mound. And we're going to step aside here for a moment for an advertisement from one of our great sponsors. We're going to have our first pitching change of the evening. And I'll let you know who that is just as soon as the decision's finally made by the manager here for the Beavers. Assistant coach for the Flying Eagles, Harrison Musgrave, approaching the press box. Conversation around the previous innings out numbers that ended the inning. Errantly, still on the mind and words of coaching staff here at Robert C. Byrd High School. I'm once again joined here in the press box by Eric Post. Eric, while you were aside supervising the dugout of the rambunctious Flying Eagles players, I had Rhett and Ford Frazier here joining me.
All right.
Lively interview. We found out some great things about the concession stand. Apparently the pickles and hot dogs are two of the finer items. And Ford let us know that his favorite player on the Flying Eagles staff is Bo Hype, freshman utility player for the Eagles.
Oh, pretty nice.
Ford also informed me that their soccer team, the Thunderbolts, will be getting action tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., which is just a few short 9 hours, actually 8 hours and 53 minutes to be exact from this moment. So our boys are going to be quite tired, I'm sure, in the morning. Since you've been away, there's been quite a bit of action, which I'm sure you've been observing from
Yeah, did we have a 2-out inning?
side.
Did that actually happen?
It did, for sure.
Okay.
Dan, Landon, Lincoln, and I all had that discussion, and Rabbit conferred that we only had 2 outs that inning.
I've never seen that happen.
There was some confusion. I will speak on behalf of our youngsters that are running the scoreboard and PA announcement that they were ordered by the home plate umpire to score 2 outs on the scoreboard when there was only 1, which prompted the confusion amongst everyone on the field, whether there were 3 or 2 outs.
And this
Let's
poor
hope that that's
this boy going to
didn't lead
catcher
it
just
in.
pitched too. His arm's going to be this poor kid. How many pitches did he throw? I wonder. Probably 80 pitches. I mean, that would be in the. Oh, playing some Sweet Caroline. Feel like I'm. Yeah, we're just asking for fun tonight, aren't we? Is this a pro WVU crowd or a bum crowd? Well, it may. Oh boy. Okay. All right, he's ready. Let's cut the music. So we're. Oh, it is 11:09. We're having fun.
Come on, Eric, join me.
We're there. Oh, it cut off right at the time.
I'll make a special request of Dan that in between the innings we revisit that song. It's a fan favorite.
Trying to keep all our kids in the game, Heath.
JD with a tremendous hit, finding the open spot between second and first baseman, short into right field. Right fielder rushing in to pick up that ball and get it in promptly. However, he did plate Schaefer for the third run of the inning and the 10th overall in the game.
Yeah, looking at 10-1 here. Let's have Thomason knock another run in, and then 3 up, 3 down, and we can all go home.
New pitcher on the mound. Brings new tendencies. Fresh arm, however.
I don't know how many people are listening, but I actually have a story from a couple years ago. I had to fill in. Coach Hill got ejected from a game, and we only had one assistant. So I, as the new AD, had to put the baseball pants on and coach first base. And we went over and played Bridgeport. And I haven't told anybody, but I picked up the tip. Their pitcher was tipping their pitches. Every off-speed pitch, I never told Coach Shields either because I didn't want to know, even though I like Robert. He coaches here too. Their pitcher was touching his hat before every off-speed pitch, and I picked it up in the first inning, and we ended up upsetting Bridgeport. So I'd like to think that I had a little bit of impact in that game because we knew every fastball that was coming because we knew his off-speed tendency was.
It's a great story, Eric.
And I tried to teach our kids to focus on that, and I never could get them to do it in the dugout for the 3 games I was there because if you watch a pitcher long enough and you really focus, especially in high school, a lot of times they show their tendencies, and you can end up tipping their pitches. Braden.
Speaking of tendencies, Braden Thomason once more
just runs whenever he wants.
Like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Second time he's stolen with no pitch even.
I would be remiss. Lovely story you shared, and I took in every moment of it. At the same time, wanted to let everyone know here. Runners have advanced to second and third. JD taking off on the first pitch. Thomason stealing. Now Bryce Bird up to bat.
We have 2 strikes. Is that right?
Speaking of stories, so Bryce, Mr. Fun Fact Sharer that he happens to be, let all in attendance at a previous game know that when you breathe, interestingly, you only use one nostril at a time. Didn't know this myself in 40 years of life. Was taught something by an 18-year-old.
Is that true?
It is true indeed. Bryce Bird taking advantage of the lip on the infield grass.
Not exactly a true hop.
And the empty second base with no one attending. To plate, 2 runners on that. Hit. We'll score it.
It is now 12-1. That was a big hit right there.
Time called. Bryce returning his batting gloves to Coach Musgrave.
Now to bat number 11, Riley.
If the umpires could call an automatic 2 outs, could they just automatically call this the 5th and we just call the game? I mean,
That's a great question, Eric.
I'll have to pull the rule book out on that one.
It may be in the unwritten rules of baseball lore. I can only imagine that in 140 years of baseball and then some that crazier things have happened.
Well, let's not forget we were down, 13-0 and came back and won 14-13 down at Grafton.
That is true. I was in attendance for the game. I was actually manning the Game Changer app.
Ground ball to third, throw to first. That'll end the inning.
Bird rounds third and into home for good measure. Not plating himself this time. Missing out on another Slim Jim.
Score is Robert C. Bird with 12. Bluefield with 1.
Another 5 runs that inning. Eric, in impressive outing here tonight. Resilience shown by these young men, Flying Eagle staff, as they step back out onto the field. And Sweet Caroline championing them on.
Yeah, fun night for baseball. Why not? Nick George trying to throw a complete game. He had no hitter going into the last inning, I believe, until they squeaked one through the right side for a base hit. Had to go be a calming presence for a little while with the fans and the players, and I think I came in the press box at the right time because it looks like it started raining again.
Nick incidentally panhandling on the left rear pocket.
Think he knows?
Likely not. I'm sure it happened to me quite a few times in many years of playing baseball. You have your batting gloves in that rear pocket, and you remove them, and pocket slips out with it. Ooh. George there with an impressive stab from Schaefer, going to toss it across his face to Xavier Carvelli, who was going to hand it to him, but Nick decided to stop it in its tracks.
Cat-like reflexes there.
I heard they're going to film a fifth Matrix movie. Perhaps Nick could star in that film without any special effects.
First up to bat this inning for Bluefield, number 11, Hunter Hanman.
First pitch swinging. That's what we definitely like right now.
Pretty sure that doesn't have the distance.
You've been waiting for it. Thomason settles under it. One out. We almost broke the computer, too, so that was fun. We almost got a Ford through the screen.
Following the fly out, now to bat, number 2.
It's hard to control your excitement when you're 7 years old and it's 11 o'clock.
Ball one to the left-handed hitter.
J.D. Ford having a conversation with no one out in left field. Interesting to hear what he was discussing after the game. I might have to probe him for that.
It still looked like he's talking to no one out there. I can't imagine playing by Bryce and Bryce not talking.
His father, Kevin, known to have numerous conversations with himself as well. But we love Kevin, and that's all in fun.
I don't think we should ever mic up a player, to be honest. All right, 3-1 count.
Wise words from an athletic director who has allowed a freshman baseball player to do the PA announcing for tonight's game.
I told him no, so he won by attrition. All right, full count. Nick battling back here.
I know if I bring that up a third time and you deny that you're on level with St. Peter.
Yeah, there we go. We start hearing roosters crow. We might by the time this game ends.
Ball chopped. Fair
ball.
O'Neal scoops it.
Oh, and way to hang on there, Noah.
Great play by O'Neal.
Kept his composure there. That was just a nice, focused play for him.
You know, that's one of those nuanced plays as well that it's amazing when things work out the way they do. To have a first baseman like Carvelli on who's left-handed, that mitt being able to reach a little bit further inside the base path there as the base runner makes his way up, and O'Neal toss it up on the inside to reach that glove. I think that if a right-handed player were on first, that play could have ended up completely different.
It'd be a very difficult play to make. So baseball was made for lefties, as you can attest.
Absolutely.
Now, his cousin is Lou Carvelli, right? That played baseball here.
That is correct, as well as Cameron Carvelli.
Cam is also my cousin. We are on from the other side of his family.
It's no surprise to me, Eric, being Italians, that we may be related to one or two folks in this community.
Every once in a while it pops up.
Eagles players' enthusiasm has died down quite a bit here out in the field. coaching staff's quiet as well near the dugout. But I don't think that their excitement and enjoyment in this 12-1 game has tethered near as much.
Ball 4.
Neal failed to squeeze that one as well. I don't know if that was a measure of fatigue or perhaps just the speed and velocity of the pitch coming in from George, which is impressive to me considering that we are now in the top half of the 5th inning. George going deep into this game and not losing any speed on his pitch whatsoever.
No, he hasn't lost it at all. If anything, I think he's getting a little later break, which sometimes that'll happen as you get more tired. Sometimes your stuff will actually break a little bit more. I think it's why we're seeing a couple off the plate here. That was a nice pitch. All right. Game could be down to this pitch. We got a 0-2 count with 2 outs. Runner on first, which I forgot to click. Now I did.
That last foul ball brought to you by D'Annunzio's Italian Bread.
Ball 1. I think, actually, it may be Chris D'Annunzio's birthday. I may have seen that. That was either today or yesterday on Facebook. They
Regardless, I say we give him a shout-out anyway.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday, Chris D'Annunzio. I love seeing his pictures on Facebook of the wildlife that's actually around this campus. He gets coyotes on there sometimes. It's pretty neat. There we go. That'll do it. Nick George.
Little help from the batter there, but George with an impressive throw. That ends the game.
That's a nice win for the Eagles. Bluefield's always a tough opponent. It was a long night. We had a long wait, and they rallied and played good baseball. And now I'm going to go straight down to the field. So I will see you, Robert C. Byrd, RCBSN. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We had a bunch of games, and hopefully you enjoyed yourselves.
Eric, pleasure being here with you tonight.
Heath, thank you for filling in.
Absolutely.